You and Chris are going to be in here talking about God knows what.
Well, hello, Charins. How y'all doing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode of the Butch and Chris Show. We are glad to be joined at the podcast table, ladies and gentlemen, by my wife, Debbie Renfro, joins Chris and I. And, of course, seated next to me, Chris Curtis, which is why we call it the Butch and Chris Show.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Hello.
So, hello.
Hello.
I got this music. I got to get the background music just right. There we go. Yeah, we'll just turn that down. It just got off to an auspicious start there, didn't it? Folks, welcome to the Butch and Chris Show, the podcast. That,
I don't know what's happening right now.
We really, nobody does. Nobody knows a dang thing that's happening. Topic of today's show, should you stick around that long when we finally get around to it, will be some of the worst people on Facebook. Topic today.
I keep looking at this list going, yeah, I'm like 3 or 4 of those.
I'm about to say I'm at least one of them. So, yeah.
You are.
I am. I'm
the
at least one of
judgment.
Yeah, and we'll get to that one too. It'll be on there. It's not like it's not justified though. So, but you know, in my mind. So there you go. But yeah, we'll be coming up with that a little bit later. Right now, at this point in the show, it's the part where I ask Chris, what's been happening?
Man, I am just trying to get through this little thing we like to call life.
Yep.
I like the word life. It means forever, and it's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The Butch and Chris Show.
The Butch and Chris Show. There you go. Debbie, what have you been up to
Well,
today? And this week, just since the last time. It's been a long time since you've been on the podcast, so, you know.
well, other than my day job as a hairstylist, I've been working on my song I'm going to sing.
Yes. You
coming
have
up here.
Yes. Praise
that
team.
I'm,
She's got a
little bit.
It's okay. You won't sing to any more than like 800 people, so it'll be fine. So.
It's kind of a biggest song I've ever done.
Yeah.
But, I'm just trying to tell myself I'm going to do the best I can.
Yep. Yeah,
Leave it all on the stage.
She's been working. Listen, I'm telling you right now, she sounds amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You don't have
She
to tell
sounds
me
Thank you.
amazing.
We sang
She's
together.
a wonderful
We
singer.
did, Chris. I
Yeah.
forgot. We did. You're a good singer.
You are.
You are. I remember you.
Yeah.
that. I hope so.
I remember you singing.
Oh, okay.
She remembers it, sir.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
Anyway,
He loves his buttons.
I do. I love my buttons. I have so many buttons. Some of them I need to say. Okay, I found that. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the one we couldn't find last time? Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I introduced him before, but can I introduce to you again the Chris to my Butch? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chris Curtis.
Hey, look at that. Crowd's back. I don't know how you got all these people in your backyard.
I know.
I'm telling you.
Well, the neighbors complained, but
That's why we redid the patio.
we got to, had to redo the patio to get
It's
all these people out
incredible,
here.
too. I love it out
Thank you.
Thank you. We like it, especially with the exception of the last couple of days where it got humid all of a sudden. It's been fun out here this spring.
Mm-hmm.
It's come out and our main form of entertainment is watching birds.
That
So
thing's supposed to be smoking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's keeping the mosquitoes away.
that's what it's doing.
You know what I saw yesterday going to work?
Someone driving stupid, but besides that,
No, man.
No.
I think, and this is hearsay because the car was completely burned up, but I think it was a Tesla right outside of Mayflower.
electrical fire.
I was right behind it, like I could see the smoke.
Yeah.
You know where the bridges are there at Palarm?
Yeah.
It was right before the bridges in that turn.
Yeah, in that turn.
So
you were on the old highway.
no,
No.
I'm talking about the Pilar, right there, right past Mayflower on the
Oh,
freeway.
gotcha. Okay.
And like I met the state trooper on the other side of the interstate, and there's a wall there, so he's got to go all the way to Mayflower. And I
Turn
thought,
around.
He's coming to that, and I didn't know what it was at that point. And then he passed, and then a fire truck, and then 2 county cops, and then another fire truck.
On a partridge in a pear
By the
tree.
time we got up there, that car was gone.
It was engulfed.
Yes.
Wow.
They had already put it out, but I mean, by
Yeah,
the time they got there, it was a done deal.
I think they're going to total it.
I hope everybody
going to
got
total
out of
it.
the
Yeah.
car is what I.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything, but
So at this point, I would like to thank the people who support this kind of tomfoolery on there. Okay, so, and the first, of course, on there is,
Big Daddy Rage.
and of course, now we have our
Terry
music.
Shots.
Yes. Kate Salter.
Cadis,
Roger McDougal.
Melinda Hicknight.
Or Hignate. Dusty Breeze. Good old.
You know what?
Dusty
I'm going to tell you
Breeze.
something, Dusty. Next time you talk to him, I would just lay down the law. I wouldn't put up with it. Chris B.
Chris B. Thank you. Nancy Schwartz.
Nancy Schwartz. Josh Ramsey.
Big Josh Ramsey. Fran
Fran
Adams.
EM.
And
Donna's husband.
Donna's husband. And our first ever producer, ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Highland. And with eternal love to Linda and Stephen. Thank you to all of our fantastic supporters. Find out how you can support the podcast by heading over to butchandchris.com. My friends, the topic of today, I want to talk about the worst people on Facebook, of which I said I may be 3 of them. So, or Chris did.
Yep.
I know I'm at least one of the worst people over there. So, from the list, first of all, the oversharers.
Yeah, dude, I don't do that for sure.
Man, I don't need to know, and I don't think anybody does, and I think it does irreparable harm if you're putting out all of the dirty laundry of what's going on with you and your kids and your husband and everything else. But there's some people that'll do that, and it's like, I don't get it either.
I'll be honest with you, and I think I told you this before the show. I'm not really on Facebook.
Yeah,
much.
but you've been on it enough to know.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying. It's passed me by.
Yeah.
I got that really and truly. When you have kids, everything's planned through Facebook.
Yeah.
Everything.
We actually plan some events through Facebook.
Yeah, but
as well.
the kids are grown, and if I click on Facebook, I go straight to Marketplace.
Yeah.
So
That's me.
and look at stuff. I don't look at anything else.
I have a couple of things that I look at, but I'm not on there. I'm not on there posting.
No.
I just it's I don't know. It's
Now,
lost its charm to me.
I do post for like kids' birthdays
Mother's
or
Day,
whatever,
yeah.
something like that.
Yes,
But
and I would never remember anybody's birthday if it weren't for Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
That's the best thing about Facebook is birthday.
And the things I like about it is that you can kind of stay in touch with people that you maybe want to know what's happening in their lives, out there and stuff. But,
it's a great thing.
it's a great thing for that.
But like,
Yeah.
they're the overshares. I'm with you.
Yeah,
And I
the
am not
overshares.
one.
And the other type of overshare is that someone will have like major surgery and go, look where they cut my toe off, and post that. I'm like, no, I don't need to see that either, man. So thanks. Although I guess some people make make a lot of money sharing their feet pictures on there, but no, nobody wants to see that.
That's one of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just why.
Yeah,
Why are you attracted to feet? I don't get it. I'm sorry.
yeah.
The
I
last
guess,
thing I want to see is my feet. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
This is so funny. Talking about feet, I was laughing at my kids the other night because Mother's Day was coming up, and I said, guys, what are you going to do for my day? Am I going to get flowers? You're going to rub my feet? And Ryan looked straight at me. He said, that's Dad's job.
yeah, that's Dad's job. He was serious too, y'all. Ryan Renfro is serious when he makes a statement like that. Chris,
Yes, sir.
you have yet.
I know, man.
Hang on.
I'm behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Curtis is getting ready to open his beverage.
Oh, is a fine local beer out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I highly recommend it.
Make it in 3 days in an old Frigidaire washer.
And I tell you, if this little company out of North or Little Rock would pony up, all you gotta do is send us some beer. We'll plug it.
Woo, the birds are going, man.
You like beer?
I guess so. I guess they liked what you did there. Yeah, then they make that beer out of the beautiful sparkling waters of the Arkansas River. That's it's just a joke. It's barely even.
I figured.
Yeah, you don't. I've seen the Arkansas River look really, really pretty, but it was in Colorado.
We make it right here in an old Frigidaire washer. We put the mops, the hops and barley, that river water in. We put that sucker on a spin cycle.
Man,
there we go.
It's good beer though. I recommend drinking local. Support your local brewers.
Yeah. The other are and I'm not saying never make a political post, but there are some people who make it their entire personality. Their entire personality.
That's not my entire personality, but I have made political.
Yeah, and I don't think I think most people have, but some people take it to where that's their main obsession, their main.
I think people have forgotten that this is a free country, and you can like whoever the hell you want to like. It doesn't matter. You vote for who you want to vote for. I'll vote for who I want to vote for. And
it used to be that way.
It used to be that way.
And now, especially, and I'm just going to say it, especially with some of these younger folks out there, they make it entirely. They make their friends based on that, and I had, you and I growing up, and even now today, I have people who are Democrats, Republicans, in the middle. And it doesn't change them as a person. And but some of these people, they equate who you vote for with your morality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just didn't know. You didn't know. I didn't necessarily know where my friends were on the political spectrum until lately. It's become so
volatile
and like a religion to people, and it just didn't. I remember my parents were Democrats, and
most people were.
They were around here, and I remember going to. It was Jim Guy Tucker's birthday, and the thing is, other candidates, even the opponents, would show up out there, and they would all get along.
Yeah.
I remember that specifically because I was little, and they had a big cake out there, and I'm like, well, we're gonna get some cake. And I just remember that, they would all show up, and they were friends.
This was a blue state. It was a Democrat. It was. But the Democrat Party is not the same.
It's
Democratic
not the
Party.
same. Mm-hmm.
Not the same Democrat Party that was prevalent when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, to each his own. Whatever you
want to do.
Whatever you want to.
But
and that's not being politically correct. I'm being honest when I tell you that that's the way I feel about this country, and that's what this country was founded on.
Sure.
You believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe, and we might can meet in the middle. We may not, but I'm not going to be mean to you.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Which leads me into that. The whole tough behind a keyboard thing.
Oh, yeah.
It started off on message boards back before Facebook, okay? But it has translated to, and I just want to pick on Facebook, but that and other forms of social media is a lot of people forgot that if you'd said those things to somebody face to face, you might get the taste slapped out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
For the things that people say to each other on there. And I'm like, wow. Someone did a video one time that showed people interacting in real life, like if saying things to each other like they may post on Facebook, well, you're an idiot. And, it was like, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Face to face with somebody. Not but once on
well, we talked about video games in the last episode. Most of the games are played online now. You play, I play with a guy in Florida constantly. I play with guys out of New York, Chicago, Texas, all over Texas. Some of these guys I've played with for 15 years, on different games.
Yeah.
Good friends. But you run into those type of people that are just keyboard warriors, and there's no repercussions.
No,
So,
yeah.
That's the deal.
Which leads me to this one, and that's the threateners. And I don't mean like threatening people physically. I mean they threaten to unfriend some. I can't tell you how many times that I'll see this kind of post on there, because I understand you get real into your politics and stuff like that, and something upsets you. It's like, well, if you disagree with me, just unfriend me now. And generally I'll go, okay.
Yeah.
You know, but realize that translates into real life too.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, but realize that also goes into real life too.
Sure.
Fine. If that's what you want, because you asked for
kind of
that.
on the same lines of somebody saying, if this person gets elected, I'm moving out of the country.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can find a better country, go
I've
get
always
it,
said that.
sister.
If what I say is pick a better country. Pick a better country and go.
Yep.
If you don't want to be a part of the process here and do it within the confines of civil discourse,
Yep.
and you just can't stand being here anymore. And I don't care who's in office, because it's like,
And it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Then go.
Well,
You know.
because it's like if you're an American and you love your country, you have to work within that system of loving your country enough that if I don't like it and I don't think something's right, fight for America within America. Because when you just say I'm leaving it, you don't really love it. You're into it. What's in it for me?
What's in it for me? I don't like it anymore. I'm taking my ball. I'm going to the Cotswolds. Like one of them did.
Now, you can be, to me, you can be against politics, politicians, and all of that. And this is one thing that really upset me, was watching people throw the flag on the ground. That was a thing there for a while, and stamp on it and stomp on it.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
I'm going, dude, listen, you can be upset with the politicians, but you have a vote in that. But the guys that paid the ultimate price for that flag, so you
And
can
what it
have the
represents.
right to do what you're doing. I mean, show some respect. That's my point on that.
Yeah, I just saw Bill Maher the other day. I don't know what group or whatever, but it was some type of a young person gathering, and they had the Palestinian flag, and they slapped it over an American flag.
No.
And Bill Maher said, young people, let me just tell you something. That's not a symbol of freedom. This is. And he showed a picture of the flag. And, I just hope we can get something.
For those of you who don't know, not exactly someone who's a conservative Trump supporter either. So you guys need to realize that.
No.
He's what I call an old school liberal.
He's a liberal American who loves his country.
Right. I mean, there's people out there that I know that are liberal, and they love the country.
Sure.
They don't have a problem
Friends
with
of ours
Absolutely.
that we
yeah.
know.
Absolutely. And I respect them for that.
Yeah.
I do.
Me too. Especially when they're going to take heat. Like, he takes heat from it, for it. So you got to respect that.
Yeah. The next one I have on this, and this may just be me, but it's the gullible Gusses is what I call them.
That's I've been there.
And it's the people, and I'm just going to say it as a guy that's about to be 59 years old. I can see 60. It's there. So understand when I say this, it's generally older folks that'll put stuff out there. And I remember the one that almost pushed me over the edge, and to the point where it's going to lead me later on to talk about one of the other ones that I am on here so I quit doing it for the most part. I still may slip every once in a while, but that is the correcting of that kind of stuff. But I saw one time that basically said, and someone did this to see, I bet there's someone stupid enough to share this. But basically what the meme is about the time that the COVID thing was kicking off. They were saying there are catfish coming down the Arkansas River that are infected with the COVID virus. Catfish.
That was on Facebook?
Yes, and people, and it was old people sharing it going, did y'all see this on the news? No, and you didn't either, because Facebook is not the news, but it's that kind of thing.
The ones that I hate is somebody will put up a missing kid or something like that.
And it's like 8 years old.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing, man? I'm immediately I'm reposting that because I want that kid found ASAP.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I got to where I'm looking at the dates on them now.
Yeah.
I only share, and I say this not only because I maintain their website and everything, but the Morgan Nick Foundation shares out missing persons, and so I know I can trust them. And I will share their information on missing people. And it's not just kids, it's like senior adults and stuff. And so I always share their stuff on my timeline, especially if it's someone kind of that they expect to be in the local area.
What I'm saying is I've been gullible enough. I immediately, as I see a missing kid, I immediately share it to everybody I know. Look for this kid, if you see him. And it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Check the dates on those, and do it from reputable places.
I mean, the people that are posting them.
Yeah, I know.
I don't see it on your list, but I'll tell you what gets me, and I am never going to do it, so don't bother sending it to me. It's basically the chain letter. The chain letter people. Yeah. If you love Jesus, send this to 10 of your friends.
Yeah.
No.
Or repost if you do this right. I'm sorry.
I'm too busy to jump through your hoops for you.
Yeah. So like the one lately that I've seen show up is people are, because I'll see it, and there's like, share this. It's like this beautiful $120,000 RV. If you share this, you got a chance to win it. And I was like, hey, ain't nobody winning that. And it's just, it's just stuff out there to clog up the timeline. The other one, and I'm sorry if anybody's listening to this, especially if you give us money each month, if you're one of these, but the multi-level marketers on there.
You have to explain that to me.
Okay, so like you remember like Amway back in the day, and like today it would be something like Plexus or something like that. It's like, I'm going to get you in my network, and it's basically a Ponzi scheme. It's always a Ponzi scheme on these, but yeah, the multi-level marketers that try to get you into their little multi-level marketing scam thing. So the people who don't know how to use Google. That one bugs me a little bit because they'll post on there, hey, can someone tell me how to do this, and this? No, but Google can. Or I'll say, let me Google that for you, is the passive-aggressive way of going, you could have done this. But, yeah, that one.
Do you do that when I call you for my computer stuff?
No.
He does to me.
I don't do that to you.
No. I'll ask a question, and he'll say, you've got the knowledge of the world in the palm of your hand, or you have a Google-enabled device in your hand. Yeah.
Which is true.
It is.
It is.
Just being an asshole.
And it can go sailing across the room and hit him in the head.
And hit me in the head. Like I said, I said I was one of these. I
don't know if y'all know this or not, but me and Debbie are compatriots against Butch.
I know. Dog pile. Yeah. The flouncers. The flouncers make me laugh. Do you know what a flouncer is?
No.
I do not.
Okay.
No.
So let me explain what a flouncer is. Have you ever been in a Facebook group and someone says, I just don't like the behavior of some of the people in this group. I'm leaving.
Oh, man.
And
I don't have much
flouncing.
experience with Facebook groups.
Well, that's called flouncing, and so like people will flounce out of a group and they have to announce that they're leaving. It's not the airport, lady. You ain't got to announce your departure.
Obviously don't know me very well because again, I'm gonna say, well, bye.
Yeah. Well, that's actually one of my favorite responses is to get that meme from the Tombstone. Well, bye.
I could be a flouncer. I mean, I'm not. But in my heart, I am. I don't actually do, because I'll get on to some, and it might not even be Facebook, some kind of social media, where you'll see a thread and these people, and I'm like, you guys are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah,
like and my thumbs are itching, and I'm typing, and I'm like, and then I'll delete it away, thinking I'm not doing that.
The chronic complainer. is the one I'm going to close with, unless you guys can think of any others. But it's that person that goes on Facebook to tell everybody how absolutely horrible their life is. It's terrible. And most of the things that they're complaining about are poor decisions that they've made in their lives, you know. So,
well, I mean, you've also got the people that just get on there just to argue. I guess they call them
Yeah.
trolls. Trolls.
the trolls, oh, yeah, those make me mad, too. Although,
Which, the Monster Hunter books, that was a pretty...
yeah, that
pretty
the troll, that the internet troll's an actual troll. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And they've hired him for his
and they've
for their
hired him,
company.
yeah, because he's a good
He's a
he's a good
computer
IT guy. Oh man,
Hilarious. Like I said, man, I don't spend much time on there. I may get on there and see if somebody has, had a birthday.
well, I can tell you
something like that,
the type of social media that you and I both watch Instagram
Very
videos
much.
a lot, and
I like reels.
Yeah,
I do
I
too.
like the reels, and I like seeing that stuff on there. Some of that's hilarious, and some of the people have become famous through like reels and TikTok and stuff like that. Like someone like Justin Nunley.
Well, Justin Huntley and the Chinese dude.
Yeah,
That was the emotional damage dude.
emotional damage.
That dude, cracked me up.
But that's the kind of social media that I like now. And listen, on Facebook, I love it when you share your kids and your good times and your pictures and things like that. But
I don't know how to play the piano, Dad. You're Chinese. You play one
Chinese.
note, you play 20.
you play Nordic. I saw one the other day. This is just don't take this as being racist, but it was a Chinese guy on there that him and his dad were doing this skit. And it's like this little kid in his room, and his dad comes in. And it was a guy doing this, and he opens the door and goes, "You a doctor yet?" Dad, I'm 12, Talk to me when you doctor. Shuts the door. I thought that was hilarious. But, people who have a sense of humor. People who have a sense of humor, and don't get offended.
I tell you, man,
like
if any
that.
of these people are easily offended, they could not look at our text messages.
No, they could not. Just to give you guys context on here, the text message group he's talking about is Chris and me, and the two Clegg brothers and Joe Powers, and we send each other things that
Ridiculous.
just
stuff.
ridiculous but hilarious things.
There are some funny stuff.
There's some stuff in there that you probably don't want to show to your Sunday school class, but there's also some stuff you could. It's just really funny stuff. I like
Bats
it.
are out.
The bats are
what?
The bats
the
are
bats.
out.
So you're gonna freak Debbie out
I
here.
hate bats.
Oh, man,
I
they
love
eat
bats. They eat mosquitoes like
Yeah,
nobody's
but they're,
business.
I just saw it catch something.
Yeah.
they ain't gonna
No, I
get you.
love having a batter. I'd like a whole sky full of the things.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm Batman. No, because that'd mean the skeeters are getting et.
Yeah.
Do you
Martin
like,
House will do the
have
same
have
thing. You got a
past
bunch of
tense,
Martins,
sir.
not a bunch of bats, so I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. So purple martins. There you go.
I
I
can
don't
sit.
see
They
purple
are
martins
fun to
anymore. They're
watch.
fun to watch. They're like acrobats.
They are, and they fly in a formation, and
Yeah.
they follow each other. It's cool to watch.
So we went from Facebook to birds.
Yeah.
See, and bats. See how we do?
Well, I mean, you look up and a bat's flying over you.
Yeah. Rabbit. No, bat.
Squirrel.
It's a bat. It's a squirrel. It's a bat. It's a squirrel.
Listen, we have every kind of varmint around
We
here.
have every kind of
Bats,
varmint.
every kind of bird. We've
we have
seen
a possum that walks the fence every once in a while.
possum, raccoon. We've seen a skunk.
Have you ever been possumed?
Possum.
Have you ever been like them play dead on you? Have you
No.
ever seen that?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Dude, I got fooled one night. You remember Dixie, our little min pen?
Yeah.
She had one down in the backyard. That little fat dog could catch anything. I don't know how she did it, but she was like Yoda. I mean, she'd walk around the house. And then she'd come in, 30 minutes later with a bird in her mouth. I'm like, how the hell? You little fat ass, how'd you catch that bird,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
That was very funny,
it
Chris.
was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
did.
2 o'clock in the morning,
Tasty
and
it
she's
does
out
not.
backyard raising hell. She won't come in. She won't move. I'm like, damn it. And I go outside with my flashlight, and I look, and she is standing over this possum. And I looked, and this thing looked just deader
It's
than the
been-
hell.
it's wet, mauled around,
just tongues hanging out, and it's just like dead. And I'm like, damn it. Dix, come on, and I get her up, and I'm like, now I've got to get rid of a dead possum, and I go around to my shop and get the shovel, and I come back around, and I get there, and I'm like, He was right here.
He was right here.
And then it dawned on me. I said, "I'll be damn."
He was playing possum.
He did
Playing
good.
possum.
He was playing
It looked
possum.
real.
It's a thing. He was a great actor, that possum.
He was.
He was
Should
committed
have got
to
an
it.
Academy Award.
Should have
for
got an
that.
Academy Award for that. Guys, thanks for Debbie. Thank you for
You're welcome.
Yeah,
being
man.
in here.
Damn, anytime.
It's fun.
It's always nice when we get Debbie on the show, but sometimes, it's in her contract. She does like one show a year now.
What?
So, what am I going to do?
No.
What am I going to do?
We'll have an addendum clause to that contract.
So
We'll fix this.
I don't know what to do about that.
I know the general manager pretty good, and I think he was giving you high fives a while ago. So I think you're good.
Bentley, the podcast general manager. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. ButchandChris.com is where you can find out all about this here podcast. Check us out wherever you get your podcast, and check us out each and every time we put out a show. Might be next week. Might be 2 months from now. No.
It'd be great. AMF, guys.
Bye.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei!